Hello, and thank you for tuning into AI Storytime. Sit back and enjoy part 2 of Devil's Cave. He knew that this cave was the key to uncovering the truth, and he had to venture into this forbidden section of the woods to find it, no matter what. He decided to leave immediately and set out into the woods with only a flashlight and a backpack filled with supplies. As Trevor stepped out of his apartment complex into the cold night air, unease started to creep over him. He felt like he was being watched for the past few days, and tonight was no exception. The dimly lit parking lot was empty, and the only sound was the distant rumble of thunder. Suddenly, the street lights flickered and went out, casting the area into darkness. "Come on, Trevor, you got this," he muttered to himself, trying to shake off the terror that was setting in. As he walked down the empty streets towards the woods, he couldn't shake the sense that someone, or something, was following him. He quickened his pace, glancing over his shoulder every few seconds. But every time he looked, there was only darkness. "Don't be paranoid, Trevor," he whispered to himself. "It's just your imagination." As he ventured deeper into the woods, the feeling only grew stronger. He could hear the rustling of leaves and the snapping of twigs behind him, but when he turned around, there was no one there. The darkness seemed to be closing in around him, and the silence was deafening. Trevor could feel his nerves getting the best of him, but he knew he had to keep moving. He had come too far to turn back now. He pushed on. Trevor walked deeper into the woods, the darkness closing in. The sensation of being stalked worsening, and he felt as though his heart was going to pound out of his chest. As Trevor walked, he swore there was hot breath on the back of his neck, as if someone was right behind him. He stopped in his tracks and slowly turned around, but there was no one there. The forest was still and silent, like nothing else existed at this moment. Goosebumps formed on his skin, and the hair on the back of his neck stood on end. "Come on, Trevor, pull yourself together," he muttered to himself, trying to shake off the feeling of unease. But it was unending as he continued. The breath on his neck intensified, and he started to hear the sound of whispering coming from the darkness the further he ventured. He tried to quicken his pace, but suddenly he couldn't go any further. He could feel something was keeping him from moving forward. It was as if some invisible force was holding him back, preventing him from leaving the forest. Trevor's heart was racing as he realized that he was not alone. The sense of danger was overwhelming, and the breath behind him was hot and ragged. The whispering was getting louder. He could hear words now. "You shouldn't have come here, we've been waiting, you belong to us now." Trevor was paralyzed with fear. He stood there for a few moments, trying to catch his breath and regain his composure. Unable to move forward, it was time to face whatever had been following him. As he was about to turn, he heard a low growl behind him. He froze, too terrified to move. "Please," he muttered to himself, "please let me be wrong. It seems you have stumbled upon our home, human," the creature said in a guttural voice. Trevor knew by the sound of its voice, this was the creature from the other night. Trevor slowly turned around, and there it was, standing right in front of him. It was even more terrifying than the last time he had encountered it. Its eyes were glowing red and its body was covered in thick, matted fur. "Please," Trevor said, his voice barely above a whisper. "Don't hurt me." The creature tilted its head, studying him. "Why should we not? You have invaded our home and disturbed our peace." "I didn't know," Trevor said, struggling to find the right words. "I didn't mean to. I was just trying to find out the truth about what is happening in my town. I didn't know you were here." The creature let out a guttural chuckle. "The truth is, human, you will never understand. You are not meant to know about us. But now that you do, you must pay the price." Standing beside the creature like a pet waiting for a command, was a dog-like monstrosity, with fur as black as night. It was a fearsome sight, with glowing red eyes and razor-sharp teeth that glinted in the darkness. It was a large beast, standing at least 4 feet tall on its hind legs, and it had a powerful, muscled build. The creature's fur was thick and matted. In some places, its skin was visible through the fur, as if it had been burned. It had a strange, metallic smell that hung in the air around it, a smell that made Trevor's nose wrinkle in disgust. Trevor's mind raced, trying to think of a way out of this situation. Please, there has to be a way. I'll do whatever it takes. Just don't hurt me. The creature's expression softened. There is a way, human. But it will not be easy. You must prove yourself to us. Prove that you are worthy of our knowledge and our protection. Trevor nodded, relieved that he was not going to be killed, at least not right away. I'll do whatever it takes, he said. Then you shall be our champion, our protector, the creature said, but know this, human, fail us and death will be a mercy compared to the punishment you shall receive. And then, just as he thought he had reached the end of his journey, the creature gave him a list of instructions that Trevor was to carry out. These tasks were to be done in the cave. The Devil's Cave. As the last words were spoken by the creature, it vanished along with its pet. As Trevor turned around in search of the creature, the cave was now directly in front of him, looming and ominous in the darkness. He could feel the malevolent presence emanating from within, and he knew that he was at the heart of the evil that had taken over Willow Creek. Trevor took a deep breath and stepped forward into the cave, determined to uncover the truth and put an end to the evil once and for all. What happened next, no one knows for sure. Trevor never came back. But from that night on, the darkness no longer seemed to linger around Willow Creek, and the whispers and strange noises in the shadows were never heard again. The end. Hope you enjoyed.